I'm Arnie Gunderson of Fairewinds Associates. I wanted to talk to you today about the radiation releases that are coming from the Fukushima nuclear reactor complex. First off, I wanted to take a look at the slide that's up right now. It's the same one that was on in my previous presentation, but we're going to look at a different spot. Do you see those tall pointy structures around the nuclear reactors? They sort of look like transmission towers. Well, they're not. They're called stacks, like a smokestack, except it's not smoke that goes up them, but radioactive gases. Now, they're there for a purpose. They were there because engineers believed that you could vent the nuclear radiation after an accident up a stack and get better dispersion. In other words, it was designed to throw that radiation high in the air so it would disperse well. They're not working. And the reason they're not working is twofold. First, there's large fans that are required to push the air up those stacks. Well, fans require electricity, and there's no electricity at Fukushima right now. So for the entire first 11 days of the nuclear accident, those stacks have not worked. Well, there's a second problem too. Those stacks were designed to suck air out of the containment buildings. And, you know, as the picture indicates, there's not much of a building left to suck air out of. So because the walls had exploded, there's no air to be drawn through and then up the stacks. So even if the stacks were working with the buildings failed, there would be no release up those stacks. That's not good. What does it mean? Well, when engineers design an accident calculation, they assume that the fuel fails at a rate of about 1%. At Fukushima, they believe that the fuel has failed, about 70% of the fuel has failed. They also assume only one reactor fails. At Fukushima, we've got 3 reactors in the spent fuel pool, so there's as many as 7 or 8 reactor cores involved. The other thing is that they assume that the nuclear reactor containments leak at about 0.5% per day. And at least on Unit 2, most experts believe that the containment is breached, which means it's clearly leaking more than 0.5% per day. And the final thing they do when they assume an accident calculation, they assume that those gases get pulled out and up those stacks. And that's not happening either. So what's happening instead is called a ground level release. Now the next slide is from a video that's been on the web. It's a helicopter or airplane flyby of the plant. And I've chosen to take a look at second 37 on the video. It's only a 1-minute video, though. It's kind of devastating. But if you look at second 37, there's smoke or steam coming out the side of a building. And it's not going up, it's actually rolling down. Now that's called building wake effect. And you'll see it on a snowy day where the snow blows across the roof. It doesn't waft up into the air. It rolls, it tumbles down the side of the building. What that has the net effect of doing at Fukushima is causing the radiation to lie near the ground. Now, there's evidence in the environment that that's occurring. It's pretty clear to me that the area immediately outside the plant will be contaminated for a long, long time. And I would not imagine people returning to their homes anytime soon. But even out at the 30 and 40 kilometer mark, 20 or 30 miles out, we're beginning to see significant contamination, which you wouldn't see if the stacks were working. So what's my source? My source is the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Association, and agency rather, excuse me. But their data from yesterday shows that the areas out as far as 30 and 40 kilometers are seeing a background radiation of about 1,600 times what normal background is. Now, that's coming from a cloud of gases that is hanging over the land right now. Those gases are xenon and krypton, and They're called noble gases. If you remember their high school chemistry, they're way on the right-hand side of the periodic chart. They don't react with anything, but they do emit gamma rays, which are causing the cloud exposure that everyone is exposed to. By the way, they also decay to other isotopes like strontium, so that even when they're gone, they leave daughter products behind that get deposited on the soil. So the other thing the IAEA found was surface contamination, and that's particularly disturbing. The surface contamination is 0.9 megabecquerels per square meter. Now, you know what a square meter is? It's roughly a 3 feet by 3 feet, a little bit bigger. And a megabecquerel is 1,000,000 disintegrations every second. So what the IAEA has determined is that the ground is contaminated with some beta isotopes and some gamma isotopes, but it's contaminated with radioactive material to the tune of 900,000 disintegrations per second. And this isn't on the plant site. This is 30 or 40 kilometers away. Now, in comparison, and it's not an exact comparison, but it's pretty good, at Chernobyl, the IAEA considered a hotspot if the beta contamination exceeded 500,000 disintegrations every second, or 0.5 megabecquerels per square meter. So this is on the same realm as what a radioactive hotspot was considered at by the IAEA after Chernobyl. It's a serious concern, and it's not going to go away soon. These reactors will continue to leak for a long time. I will keep you informed. That's it for today. Thank you.